Hi everyone, Jason here. Just wanted to talk a little bit about what happened this past weekend. As it was, Extra Life happened this weekend, where basically gamers all over North America basically band together for a marathon session of gaming. As it stands, I had been raising money for the past week. Basically, with the more money I raised, the longer I gamed for. So, as it stands, we went through a lot of donations and ended up actually with a grand total of $500, which meant that I had to game for 13 hours. Not a problem. Basically, what it came down to was that on Saturday I ended up doing 9 of the 13 hours, and then on Sunday finishing it off with another 4 hours. And what basically my entire plan was not only do I play games so basically I can raise money for children's hospitals, but also I have a backlog of a lot of games on Steam, and I basically said, okay, well, let's try some new games. That being said, I went through, say, about 15 different games, and as it stands, I played, for 13 hours worth, and so I think I learned a lot about all the games that I have. I have a whole bunch of games that I haven't even tried, and amazingly enough, there's a couple of games in there that were like hidden gems that I think that, more people should know of, and I'm surprised I didn't even know of them at the time. So basically, I'll show you the list, what we went through. Unfortunately, I had some troubles with my streaming. I'm still learning all of the streaming stuff, so I couldn't record everything, but I just went through and I've got some footage for everyone, so everyone's got an idea of what I played. Basically, started off with Shatter, which is basically a Break the Blocks clone. Went to Race the Sun, which is basically, I guess, what people call an endless runner now. You basically just keep moving forward, trying to avoid obstacles. I tried playing a game called Stick It to the Man, which is extremely funny, but it didn't work well with streaming because my computer's not powerful enough, apparently. A game called A Reckless Disregard for Gravity, which is a base jumping game. A game called Not the Robots, really odd little game where I'm not sure what you are technically. It looks like you're like this weird little Roomba because you go around and pretty much, well, literally eat furniture. I'm not really sure what that's all about. Followed that up with a game called Drunken Robot Pornography, which, as they claim, is the cleanest game on the internet. Uh, that one is a lot of fun, actually, and the theme song is definitely worth a shot.
They started working in the factories of George Devol, quietly stepping out the fridges in the Japanese car. Over the decades, designs evolved to sweep in your floor in a circular avatar. Aerospace and a ton of double E. Structural engineering and tech and ECE. Hired a spiky yellow girl with a bachelor's degree from Carnegie Mellon University.
Bioshock Infinite, that one's for you, Kevin. I played that one for probably a good hour and a half or whatnot. I still have a long way to go, I'm pretty sure. Um, a Lemmings clone called, well, Clones. That one, I pretty much said, yeah, that's pretty much Lemmings, and then they threw in a really odd function, which was atomize them. Basically, just make them into a pile of goo. That kind of was a little disturbing. I just did not expect that at all. Um, then I decided to do something a little goofy. I'd played this one before called Amputee, where you have a robot hand, and your task is to basically use that robot hand to make a cup of tea. It's difficult. It's a lot more difficult than it sounds, obviously, when you're thinking about it the way that you have to translate a mouse motion to that. If there's anything that comes out of it, I failed several times. I think I managed to get one proper cup of tea. But at the same time, I also found out it was a great table flipping simulator. Then went on to The Desolate Hope. This was a game that Scott Cawthon of Five Nights at Freddy's fame released a long time ago, or it could have very well been 2 years ago, because Five Nights at Freddy's all came out in the same within a year of each other. So, but that one is quite fun. I'm really amazed with the graphics that he's got in that, and it's really something to look at for a long time. Speaking of graphics, then I went up to Dust: An Elysian Tale, which is a side-scrolling, I guess, adventure game made by one guy, and it looks amazing. It really does. It's, again, one of those games where you look at it and go, this was all done by one person. That's kind of crazy. I wish I could do that. I wish I had that kind of aspect, like, that I could go that far. With David N's recommendation, I played ZZT for a while, which was totally classic, and kept forgetting to save, so I would basically get somewhere, die, and then realize I'd have to do it all over again. It's a great puzzle game. I mean, it's a classic. It's very highly regarded, but I think if I really sat down with it, if I could play it a little bit more, but I've also got so many other games to play. One that was actually a really big surprise to me were a couple right here, which I actually just started playing today on Sunday, which was Cloud Built, which is I guess a parkour type game where you run around and you can run off walls, jump and shoot. Very futuristic. It's actually really good. I'd highly recommend it if anybody likes those kind of games. A little twitchy for me, but I actually really enjoyed myself when I was playing it. I was really surprised. I have a game that I played called Deponia. I didn't even realize that this was an adventure game until I played it, and that game is hilarious, really funny. I did not expect it, and definitely something I have to go back to at some point and finish it, because it actually was really amusing to me. And then I finished it off with one more game called Kickbeat, which is by Zen Studios. They made a lot of pinball games, so it was really unusual to see them do a rhythm action game, but really fun. Yeah, I think that, so basically all said, I think that that's about 15 or 16 games there, and basically I've got a whole bunch of people here I can thank, as well as a number of anonymous donors. I'm amazed, I'll say that. I did not expect, my initial donation goal was $200, and then, like, within the first day of me basically starting, which was last week, about this time last week, I hit that goal on Monday morning, and I was like, okay, well, let's go a little bit higher. So let's go to maybe I went from 150 to 250, whichever, but I went to 250 and then hit that. And so I went, okay, well, let's go to 400, and then I hit that. And then while I was playing games today, another $50 came in and ended up pushing me right to $500. Last year I only raised $120 on my own, and I know I did it with a team last year, and I think we raised more than $500, but for me to raise $500 just from a week, and just to say, I'm going to play video games for 13 hours, and people are going to donate money for that, I'm floored. I am so grateful. I'm so thankful. I just found out that Extra Life also managed to raise $6.3 million this as of last night. At this point in time, they've raised more than they did last year, which is great. I'm really impressed, and I'm really happy to see it. I just wanted to say thank you again so much for all of your support, all of your generosity. I want to thank all those who came out on the stream to say hi, even if you weren't able to be around for most of the time. Perfectly fine. Everyone's got lives, but I'm so happy that I could do this for you guys. And I just want to say thank you so much. I look forward to doing this again next year. We'll see how things go. I'm sure that you'll be just as generous as you were this past year. And yeah, we'll see you guys soon. Take care.